The Last of Us Left Behind DLC is more than just a DLC. It's an important part of the overall story. Last time, I looked back at the masterpiece that is The Last of Us. And in today's video, I'll be talking about Left Behind.
For every second we get to spend with each other.
The Last of Us Left Behind was developed by Naughty Dog and released in 2014 on the PS3 as a DLC after the critical and commercial success of the main game. When I was finished with The Last of Us, I was in a limbo. I didn't know how to function, all I was thinking about was the game. But then I saw a glimmer of light, a hope, and that was the Left Behind DLC. By the time I picked up the game, the DLC was already out, so it was ready for me to play and I went straight into the game. The Last of Us Left Behind isn't just a DLC. It's an essential, emotionally rich piece of storytelling that deepens the entire Last of Us universe. It goes beyond filling in gaps. It expands character development, explores love and identity, and reinforces the emotional weight of the main story. I will show gameplay footages from the remastered and the remade versions of the game, as I do not own a PS3 to capture the original footage. Without further ado, let's start. The amazing gameplay from the main game carries over to Left Behind. This time around, the game starts and revolves around Ellie. Ellie feels very different to play compared to Joel, and that difference is intentional. Naughty Dog didn't just swap character models, they designed Ellie's gameplay to reflect who she is. A smaller, quicker, and more vulnerable survivor who relies more on agility than brute force. We got a tease of her playstyle with a small section in the main game. Once again, you sneak around places, hide from enemies, shoot them down, and as always throw bottles or bricks to lure enemies. What makes Left Behind gameplay so unique is that Ellie feels more vulnerable. Joel is a seasoned, more powerful character who is capable of overpowering enemies in melee and taking more hits, but when you play as Ellie, you immediately feel how different it is. She can't just go berserk mode and slay her way through enemies like Joel. Combat is riskier, mistakes seem to be punished harder, and you're encouraged to avoid direct confrontation whenever possible. Also, Left Behind emphasizes stealth even more than the main game, often forcing you to survive with limited resources, making every decision feel high stakes. Luckily, Ellie is quicker than Joel. She moves more lightly and can get in and out of places with more finesse. This plays into her physical build. She can move around quicker, squeeze through tight spaces, and slip past enemies in ways Joel couldn't. I love Ellie's gameplay mechanics. It is one of the first times that I felt that I was playing as a character that actually felt like a teenager. This is definitely an appetizer for what's to come in part 2. Playing as Ellie carries a different emotional weight. With Joel, you're carrying the burden of past mistakes and trying to protect someone. As Ellie, you're desperate, alone, and trying to survive. You feel her fear and her fierce determination. The changes in playstyle make this game much more interesting to me. For the enemies, humans and infected are back. Pitting them against each other was super fun. One of the most interesting things about Left Behind is how it balances gameplay with the narrative pacing. Unlike the main game, which leans heavily into survival horror and tense combat sequences, Left Behind takes its time, especially in the flashback sequences with Riley. You're not fighting off enemies constantly. Instead, you're exploring, playing, and soaking in the atmosphere. Those slow moments in the gameplay gave more depth to the story and showcased some fun in a usually devastating game. I just love playing these games because the gameplay is so fun and engaging. The story in this game is arguably one of the most important parts of the whole series. The Last of Us Left Behind is a powerful story that weaves together two pivotal moments in Ellie's life. In one timeline, we follow Ellie as she cares for Joel, who is very injured after falling down 2 stories and getting impaled by a metal rod. And I'm gonna say that moment really shocked me when I first played it. And most of the story, Ellie is seen scavenging for medical supplies in a dangerous and abandoned mall. In the other, when she shares a heartfelt, bittersweet night with her best friend Riley, who has just returned after joining the Fireflies. The two explore a shopping mall while having fun and reconnecting. These two timelines reflect and mirror each other. In the present time, Ellie searches the mall for supplies to keep Joel alive, but the flashback one is Ellie reconnecting with Riley and trying to keep their friendship alive. This dynamic and storytelling method really resonated with me. The whole story gave more context to Ellie as a character and made me appreciate her more after seeing her backstory. In the main game, Ellie is already a strong and complex character, but Left Behind peels back more layers. We see her vulnerabilities, her innocence, and her true emotions in ways the main game only hints at. Her relationship with Riley, full of tension, joy, and ultimately heartbreaking, adds a lot of weight to the choices she makes later in the story. It's not just the backstory, it's the emotional foundation for her motivations. Like I said, there's tension, suspense, and heartbreak, all tightly packed into a short cinematic experience. At its core, Left Behind is a coming-of-age story set against the backdrop of apocalypse. It explores love, not just romantically but friendship and loyalty. These aren't just plot points, they're emotional truths that elevate this DLC into something special. Every time I beat the main game, I go back and play Left Behind. The small cast of characters this game has is so well written. Like I said, Left Behind stars Ellie. In the main game, Ellie is already a strong and complex character. We see what makes her vulnerable, her innocence, and her personality that we often didn't see in the main game. Her relationship with Riley makes more sense as to who Ellie comes across as later on. This backstory is the emotional foundation of her motivations. It was a joy to see her true self. She was comfortable, and we saw her in a new light. It was good seeing Ellie as a Fedra trainee before everything went to shit as well, which gave more context to her personality. We are introduced to Riley, Ellie's best friend and kinda more than a friend. Riley is brave and rebellious. I can see why Ellie would be friends with her, and shows where Ellie's personality comes from as well. Like Ellie, Riley uses her personality to charm everyone, but she also carries a lot of pain and frustration towards the world they are all trapped in. She's a former Fedra trainee like Ellie and now became a Firefly. This dynamic was so well played because Fireflies are the Fedra's #1 enemy. Riley and Ellie's scenes were powerful and their connection was rare and refreshing to see. And yeah, Joel is in the game as well, but just in pain resting as the game is set in the time where he is injured. Overall, I wish the game was a little longer. It is bite-sized and feels short, and the great writing made me want more. The exploration is also limited. I'm sure that was because of how short the game is and the gameplay can get repetitive, but apart from these, Left Behind is an amazing experience that is a must play for every fan. Like the first game, I would recommend playing the Part 1 remake of the game on the PS5, but the remastered version still plays fine and makes you appreciate how well made this game was back in the day. At the time, this was the only content we had after beating the main game, and that's why I will always cherish this story. It made me love Ellie as a character even more. The Last of Us Left Behind is a solid 9 out of 10. So what do you think of Left Behind? Did the emotional story resonate with you as much as it did for me? Please let me know down below and I'll see everyone on the next video.
Alright. Huh, these look great. What's a Facebook?
Maybe it prints our faces in a book? Enter username.
What should I write?
Just type some stuff. Write your last name or something.
Okay. And there.
Ooh, it's sharing. No internet connection.
What does that mean?
Oh, we can just print our pictures. Oh my god, I can't believe it's actually gonna work.
I know.
Hit retry.
Okay. Oh, come on. Fuck you.
Maybe if you hit it up here. Oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, what just happened?
I think we broke it.
I think we did too.